Good morning, students. Today we will start with next topic of PHP arrays. Students, this is the last topic of this unit, PHP arrays. Now, what is array? Array is used to store homogeneous set of elements at a single place. For example, students, when we have to use any variable, there is a need that we have to declare every variable. I hope that you people know that in the 11th standard, when we did programs, that when we have to use any variable, there is a need we have to declare that variable at the start of the program. So for example, if we have to use 100 variables and 200 variables or 50 variables, so it is very complex that if we have to declare 100 variables or 200 variables, then why we are using programming languages? So array provides us facility that we can declare number of variables at a single place by just using array. So array is, we just have to create array, and after creating the array we can declare number of variables in that array. So the definition of the array is, an array is a special variable which can hold more than one value at a time. So in an array we can store number of values. An array store multiple values in one single variable. I want to give you one real life example. For example, I have to declare 100 students of your class. I want to make a program which will calculate result, and I have to declare 100 students of your class. So what I can do is I can just create an array. It is very simple to create an array. For example, I can create an array with name student, and in that array I can declare that 100 variables. So there is a no need to declare the variables 100 times. So I just have to declare it once. So that's why we use array. So let's see how we can create array in PHP. So create an array in PHP. In PHP, array function is used to create arrays. So in PHP, whenever we have to create an array, PHP provides us function, that is array function. So we simply have to use that function whenever we have to create array. So look at the syntax. For example, $a is a variable is equals to array. Here array means we are using array, and in the bracket values. Values means you whatever you want to write values. For example, I want to create a array which can store 100 values of students. So I can simply create array, and in the bracket we have to give the values. So whatever we give value in the bracket, that is parameter. So I hope it is clear to you what is the syntax to create array in PHP. Next is types of array. In PHP, there are mainly three types of array. The first name is indexed array, associative array, and multidimensional array. Indexed array is array with the numeric index. Index array is one of the most commonly used array. Index array means we represent the array with the index number. For example, I have 5 values A, B, C, D. I will store it in an array, and on the top of the array there will be index number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So A is at index number 0, B is at index number 2, and C is at index number 3. So it is one of the most commonly used type of array, which provides us facility that we can create array with the index easily. Next is associative array. Associative array means arrays with named key. In this we refer names rather than index. So we refer some name or some value. So that is associative array. Multidimensional. Multi means many. Many arrays. Array containing one or more array. So when we have more than one array in a single array, or when we have multiple dimensions, this is known as multi-dimensional array. So students, This is a very important question that you can get a question in the MCQ form, like in associative array, how we refer arrays, whether we refer array with the numeric values or with names. So you must know that in indexed array we make use of index numbers like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. Whereas in associative we make use of names or values, whereas in multidimensional there are more than one array. So I have taken an example of every array. So let's start with the first. The first is indexed array. The index array can be assigned automatically and the index always starts at the 0. So whenever you people use indexed array, it will automatically start assigning the values, and it will by default start the index value from 0. So if you have 5 elements, so total there will be 4 index: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So look at the syntax of the index array. The syntax is $A is equals to array. Array is a name of a function, and in the bracket you have to give values whatever you want to print. So simply you can give number of values by using comma. So this is the syntax of indexed array. So I have taken one example. For example, look at the example. In the code PHP, subjects is equals to array. You want to create an array with values. The values in the array that you want to print is English, Hindi, Marathi. You have to write the values in the double quotes. So see, if we don't use array, otherwise what we have to do is we have to declare English once, Hindi once, Marathi once. But here we have declared all the three variables in a single line by just separating it with comma. So in the array we have declared three values: English, Hindi, Marathi. Echo means whatever we want to print message. We want to print message like I like will be the message which will be printed. Then after that you have given values whatever you like. So you want to print values of subject is the name of the array. In the previous line you can check, I have written subjects. So subject is the name of the array. So subject index number 0. So it means it will print the value which will be at the index number 0, in the array subject. So subject is just the name of the array, whereas at index number 0 the value is English, because you have because we have given the first value as English. So at index number 0 the value is English, whereas at index number 1 the value is Hindi, and the index number 2 the value is Marathi. So there are total 3 values. So that's why the index number is 0, 1, 2. And you want to, for example, we want to print the 3 index values at index number 0, 1, 2. So that's why we have written here. And then in the next line, echo break count. Then we have used count function. Count function is used to count the total number of subjects. So after running the code, that will be the output. See, this will be the output. I like, because we have given the word I like, then name of the array with index number. So it will print, it prints the value whatever will be that index. So at index number the value was 0, English, Hindi, Marathi. So this is the output of that line. And count function is used to count the values. So in this array there are total 3 values, so that's why the value of the count is 3. I hope it is clear to you. It is very simple. Next is associative array. Associative arrays are the array in which we use names instead of values. So the syntax of the associative array is $A is the name of the array, whereas array is the function, and in the bracket there is key 1 is equals to value 1, key 2 is equals to value 2, and so on. So in this you have to give the values. So I have taken an example of this also. Look at the code. Student mark is equals to array. The name of the array student mark. Array is the name of array is the function, and in the array there are values. English is equals to 75. Hindi is equals to 64, and so on. So these are the values. So after executing the code, look at the third line of the code. Echo, you have scored. You want, for example, you want to print the message. You have scored. So you have scored student mark English. So you want to print the marks of English only with this message. You have scored English. So it will print the value of the English. So the value of the English is 75. So after executing the code, this will be the output. You have scored 75 in English. So it prints the message as it is with the value of the English. So the value of the English was 75. So that's why it prints 75. That is associative array. Next is multi-dimensional array. Multi-dimensional array is an array that contains more than one array. So PHP can handle multiple levels of multi-dimensional array. So students, that was all about the types of the array. Next topic is user-defined functions. PHP user-defined functions. What are user-defined functions? User-defined functions are those functions which user can define, whereas built-in functions are those functions which are provided by that language. For example, in the previous lecture, we have studied so many string functions and different types of functions which were built-in function that are provided by PHP. Now, user-defined is function that, for example, if we people are user, we have capability or we have authority that we can create function with the name whatever we want. So first of all, what is function? Function is a block of statement. Why we create function? When we have to repeat the task or when we have to repeatedly execute the same thing, we can simply create a function of that thing and we can execute it again and again. So the main use of the function is reusability. So function is a block of statements that can be used repeatedly in a program. It will not execute immediately, and it will execute only when we call a function. So it will not execute immediately when a page loads, but will be executed by a call to the function. I hope that you people know that whenever we have to execute a function, we have to call that function. That is function calling. So whenever we call function, it will execute that part. So the syntax is very simple. Function, function name. Function is the keyword that we are going, which tells that we are creating function. So function is a keyword. Function name is whatever name you want to give to the function. And then in the next line, code means what you want to execute. For example, if we want to create a function sum, so what we have to do is we have to write the function sum, function bracket, round bracket, then in the curly bracket we can write whatever we want. For example, C is equals to A plus B, and then curly bracket close. So by simply by using this syntax, we can create function. Next is example of a function. So for example, look at the second line, function write message. Here function is a keyword, name of the function is write message. Write message is the name of the function, and in the function, suppose we want to print echo, this is user defined function, and suppose we want to print this line, then curly bracket close. Next line is write message round bracket semicolon. Round bracket semicolon means this is calling function. Calling function means we are calling the function. It will transfer the call to the write message. So on it will transfer the call to the second line of this program, that is write message. So in the write message, what will be the code? It will print that thing. So for example, here the message is this is user defined function. So it will print the message in the output as this is user defined function. So this is function calling. Next is PHP function arguments. What are arguments? Students, whatever value we give in the bracket, for example, write message was a function and there is a round bracket. If we give value in that bracket, that will become parameters or arguments. So function argument is when we give some value with the function, that is known as function argument. For example, I have told you that for example, we want to create sum function, sum function, then round bracket. But if I want to give argument, then simply I can give argument. So for this, what I have to do is sum bracket 10 comma 20. So I can simply give values as a argument. So that is function argument. So information can be passed to the function through arguments, and argument is just like a variable. So arguments are specified after the function name inside the parenthesis. So as I have told you, for example, in the bracket I want to give two values, roll number and name. So I can simply give this as a function. And I have also told you one more example. For example, I want to give values to the sum function sum. In the bracket you can give values a comma b, and you can also give 10 comma 20. So that is argument. Next is return statement. Why we use return statement in functions? So whenever we want to return some value, we can use return statement. Return statement is used to return the value. So to let a function return a value, we use return statement. Next is form handling in PHP. Form handling means, students, in the 11th standard you have studied in the HTML that why we use forms and how we can create forms. So similarly we also use forms in PHP. Forms are basically used to gather the information, and we have also created so many forms in the 11th standard. So similarly in the PHP, form handling is used. Form handling means how we create forms in PHP, and the one main use of using forms in PHP is after creating the forms in PHP, when we click on the submit button, the information will be stored on the server. So that is form handling. I have taken a one very simple example of form. For example, look at the output of this. There is a one text box in which there is a name, email ID and submit button. So we can simply create form by using input type text, which will print name, email ID and submit as a input type as in button. So this is the simple way to create a form. Next thing is, what is the main use of using forms in PHP? Earlier in the HTML we have studied that we can simply design the form, but in PHP the main use of the form is when we click on the submit, it will submit the information to the server. The one real life example of the form is, for example, when you fill online forms on any of the site, when you click on the submit button, your data will be stored at that site, that particular site, whatever address they have given in the submit button. So that's why we use forms in PHP. Now there are two ways how the information submit on the server by using forms in PHP. So there are two ways, get and post method. Get and post method. So there is a difference between get and post method when information stores on the server. So here we will study what are the differences between get and post. So information sent from a form with the get method. If we have used a get method to submit the information, the get method allows us, it is visible to everyone. The information will be visible to everyone. All the variable names and values that are displayed in the URL. And the another thing is, get function also has limit on the amount of information that we can store or we can send, whereas I have told you that it shows or displays the variable names or values, so it is also possible to bookmark the page. So bookmarking is used in case of get method. So you can also get a question in exam whether we can use bookmark in get or post method. So you can use bookmark in get method only. Get may be used for sending non-sensitive data. Non-sensitive data means we cannot use get to save like passwords or banking transactions and username, because these type of information is this type of information is very sensitive, like username, passwords and banking details. So as I have told you, when we use get method, the information will be visible to everyone. So we cannot use get method when we have to store sensitive information. But when we have to use normal information, like when we fill forms like survey methods or some common registration method. For example, college has a website, and college has used PHP method to create forms, and they are accepting information from the students. In that case, they can use get method. Next is post method. If we use post method, information sent from a form with the post method is invisible to everyone. So as the information is invisible to everyone, so this is one of the secure methods. So if we are making banking transactions, for example, when we make payment and at the end when we click on OK button or submit button, your record will update, and it will update your record. So this is very sensitive information, because it is directly related to your banking details and your passwords. And so in that case, most of the websites use post method, and post method has no limit on the amount of information to send, whereas in the get method there is a limitation on the amount of information. And in post method we cannot make use of bookmarks, because there is no information visible to anyone. So that was all about get and post method that we use in forms while submitting the information. Next topic of PHP is cookies. PHP can also be used to make cookies. Now, what is cookies? For example, when you people visit some web page or some site, it will store your data to your browser, and it will allows you to optimize your search. It will optimize your search. So that is cookies. So cookie is a very small text file that the server sends on the user's computer. It is used to identify the user or its machine and track activities created on the user computer. So the real life example of cookies is, for example, when you search for some particular website or some particular web page, your information will be stored on your browser, because that server will send the information to the browser. And I hope that you people know that when again you want to search that page, it will help you to directly switch to that page, because it optimizes your search, as I told you. So PHP can be used to create and retrieve cookies values, or used to create or retrieve cookies. So we also make use of PHP in cookies. Next topic is session. Session means time. PHP is also used to store user information on server to track the user activities. So it also helps the web application to maintain the user information on all the web pages. Session means PHP is also used to create or to track the activities of any user, or how much time he has spent on that particular site. So all the time related information is also handled by using PHP. The real life example of session is, for example, when you make banking transaction, and for example you have opened that page for 2 hours, so it will give you a message that your session has expired. So it is just because of they have used some PHP or some other methods to retrieve the features of that thing. So one more real life example is when you fill online forms. So for example, they have applied a session of 20 minutes, but if you spend more than 20 minutes, it gives you message that your session expire, you have to fill this form again. So that is just because of this feature. So PHP also has this feature. So students, that was all about PHP. Today we have finished this unit, and with this we have finished all the units of IT. We have finished all the units. We have completed all the units of IT, and with this we have completed the 12th syllabus of IT. Thank you.